Hello again, everybody. I'm Evan Massoud. Welcome to the FREDTV Sports Report, our final broadcast of the summer. We've got a stacked show for you, and we're going to begin right here at Chew Park with the Fribble Championship. It began 2 weeks ago, and it delivered complete and great action throughout. Let's take a look at how we got to this point as we bring up the graphics. The Brewers made quick work of the Marlins, sweeping them in 2 games, and the Braves got their revenge on the Rockies, also pulling off a semifinal round sweep, which brings us to the finals, where the Brewers have a 2-1 lead in the series. The games have been very close, too. Game 1 went to the Brewers 12-9, Game 2 to the Braves 7-5, and Game 3 to the Brewers 4-1, who are hoping to clinch the title in Game 4. This is their 3rd straight appearance in the finals, and they're hoping to make it back-to-back wins. Got out to the early lead, too. Top of the 4th. 2 out, 1 run in, and a runner at third. Chris Smith with the base knock to center brings home Connor Smith to make it 2-0. It would stay that way all the way to the 7th inning. Let's go there. Braves looking to tie it up. After an RBI ground out earlier in the inning, Alex Kanevi with the 2-out hit. The blooper. It falls in the Bermuda Triangle. Dave Bushnell scores from second, and it's a 2-2 game. To the bottom of the 8th we go, same score. Josh Blaze at the dish with 2 down and 2 in scoring position, and he delivers the go-ahead. Well-placed hit to left center. Bradford Hartwell and Ryan Pimentel both come home. It's 4-2 Braves. They took a 5-2 lead into the 9th. Things got a bit dicey there as the Brewers did grab a run in the final frame, but Ryan Pimentel closes the door. The Braves stave off elimination and force Game 5 with a 5-3 Game 4 victory. This was a great game. It was a close game, kind of a nail-biter throughout because both teams weren't doing much offensively until that 7th inning. The Braves, though, able to push it to 5 games. Game 5 would be a Sunday matinee right here at Chew. We'll have those highlights a little later in the program, so stay with us. All right, always like a fun Did You Know? Because I did not know this until recently. Did you know that South Watuppa Pond is the only Olympic-sanctioned pond in the entire Northeast? Go figure, right? Well, that means that if the Boston 2024 Olympics had happened, we would have seen Olympic rowing competitions happening right here in Fall River's backyard. Pretty cool. Well, we all know that unfortunately that didn't happen. But I did get a taste of what it might have been like, thanks to the Bay Coast Rowing Center down on Jefferson Street. Take a look. On a peaceful summer morning, the sound of oars clapping on South Watuppa Pond could be heard as the Bay Coast Rowing Center wrapped up the last week of its Learn to Row camp. This particular program was geared for high school athletes. Co-head coach Julia Medeiros told me that Fall River should feel very fortunate to have rowing available right in its backyard because unlike football, baseball, and basketball, it's not a sport that's offered in many communities.
I never really saw any schools that had rowing, so I thought it was super unique, and I was never really into many other sports. So when I finally found rowing, it was finally my niche and the sport that I love the most.
Much like Julia, Monica Smith had started with another sport prior to finding rowing. Now going into her sophomore year of high school, Monica has become an assistant coach at the center, continuing to learn new skills while teaching others what she has already mastered.
It's different from any other sport that I've done. I used to be a swimmer, and I just like how it's very mindful but kind of relaxing at the same time. And it uses a lot of different body parts that most sports wouldn't use.
Monica said that she has recently taken the role of coxswain, which is the person that faces the rowers and steers the boat. The coxswain also keeps an eye on the rower's stroke to ensure that synchronization is preserved throughout the race. Staying focused is essential.
Rowing is a lot more mental than some other sports. You really have to work on working together, being in sync with your teammates, and endurance-wise, you're going until you cross the finish line. So there's no switching in and out. So we've really been trying as many drills and fun activities as we can.
Okay, remember, relax. This isn't a race. Slow and steady.
Julia's co-head coach, Alexa Beyonson, is currently rowing for Fordham University in New York. She was passionate about this sport right from the start, often training before the sun rose.
Rowing is a very heavy endurance sport. You have to spend a lot of time working your aerobic capacity. So it's doing like long, low, and steady aerobic work, either on the erg machine, running, whatsoever. I know I spent the majority of my mornings in high school at 5 a.m. waking up and doing steady state on the rowing machine over there.
The Bay Coast Rowing Center was awarded a Community Impact Grant from our friends at the United Way of Greater Fall River. Executive Director Kim Smith says this is a great example of a nonprofit helping a nonprofit, all for the greater good of the city.
Not only does it keep kids engaged in movement and rowing and doing something physical, but it also avails them the opportunity to learn to row and then potentially continue rowing, which also would lead to possible college scholarships.
I know what rowing has done in my life, and I want to help kids, especially in Fall River, realize the benefits that rowing could have in their lives, and that rowing is a possibility for them to make their dreams come true if they want to go to college. So if they stick with it, put in hard work, great things can come from rowing.
And it's Alexa's hope that all of the athletes who attended the camps comes to love rowing as much as she does. Now, if you want to find out more about future programs, visit the website right at the bottom of your screen, baycoastrowingcenter.org. Thanks to everybody who helped out with the pack. The girls were great to talk with. It was a really cool program, highly recommended. All right, Game 5, sudden death, winner takes all from right here at Chew Park. The Braves have been in the playoffs every season that we've covered the league on FREDTV and our sister station, FRGTV. And they've been in the finals. This is their 4th time in the finals. Is this year the year? Let's find out. Roll the tape. One thing's for certain, for a late August Sunday afternoon, it felt more like September with a 60s temperature and a breeze. I'm not ready for the jacket weather, that's for sure. All right, Braves took a 3-0 lead in the top of the first thanks to a rocky start from Carney Buff. He settled down nicely, though, until running into further trouble in the 4th. We'll pick it up there. 2 outs, runner at second. Dave Bushnell hooks it to left. That falls in fair. Josh Blaze comes around to score, and the Braves with a 4-0 lead early. We'll move ahead. Top 7 now, 1 run in, 1st and 3rd, and more. 2 out magic. Josh Blaze gets into one. Chew Park holds it, but it's deep to center, and it'll bring home a pair. Luke Bomback and Jonathan McCarthy score. The Braves with a 6-run lead. It's 7-1. Bottom half of the inning, Brewers rallying, trying to stay in it. A run already in. 2 in scoring position with 2 out. Chris Smith sends it up the middle. Greg Nugent from 3rd. Connor Smith from 2nd. A 2-run single cuts it back to 3. It's 7-4. Bottom of the 8th now. Franco DeRay leading off the inning for the Brewers. A drive to deep left, and it carries out. Just over the 295 marker in left for the solo jack. 7-5 the score. Brew Crew not going away. Later in the inning, Carney Buff at the plate, 1 out, man at second. Drives it deep to right. Josh Blaze and Luke Bomback almost collide. It gets down. J.K. Silva comes in from second. Buff stands at 3rd, representing the tying run. After a pitching change, a couple batters later, Connor Smith comes up now with 2 down. He slices it to left, and that's going to tie up the ball game as the Brewers score 6 unanswered runs in an inning and a third in Game 5 to pull even at 7-7. To the bottom of the 9th we go, still tied. J.K. Silva at the plate. Chris Smith, the winning run at second, and Silva delivers. A drive deep to right field, bounces once, goes over the fence, a ground rule double, and the Brewers walk off with the win and the championship in Game 5. It's their 2nd championship in a row. What an exciting comeback. I caught up with the winner at the end of the game, and come to find out, J.K. Silva is actually one of our own here at FRPS, a phys ed teacher at Cuss Middle School. I asked him about the feel in the dugout when the deficit was 7-1. Here's J.K.
We were not feeling good. Morale was getting down, but it only takes, the craziest thing about sports and baseball is it only takes one thing to turn momentum. Once momentum got turning, I had it in my head. I knew we were coming back. I knew we were winning this game. I just wanted to give a shout out, Cuss Middle School, all my students. Keep working. We'll see you at school this week. Let's go.
So that wraps up another exciting year of Fribble baseball here in Fall River. A big thanks to the league for another fantastic summer of baseball action. All right, last but certainly not least, some news from the high school level. We had some changes made over the last couple of months while we've been away and want to let you know what's going on. Over at Bishop Conley, Cesar Gonsalves has been reappointed as the athletic director. Cesar served for 3 years from fall 2013 to the spring of 2016. And he was always so helpful to us at Fred TV, so we wish him the best of luck as Bishop Conley and Coylan Cassidy join forces. So Cesar's going to be running both athletic departments. Now, over at Diamond, Michael O'Brien, who was the assistant AD over at Coyle, has taken over the athletic position at Diamond Regional after Keith Allen recently stepped down. Michael had a tremendous career over at Coylan Cassidy, where he coached the girls basketball program for 16 years, had 269 wins over those 16 years, very impressive, and a state championship in 2018. Now moving on here to lead the Bengals, Michael says the transition has gone very smoothly.
Coming from a different place, I'm learning. My first plan is to just observe and learn from these guys and learn their system. I'm joining their team. They're not joining me. You know, I don't think any major changes are needed. They run a nice athletic program here. Keith Allen did a great job, and I'm happy to be here. And I've enjoyed my week and a half so far. It's been great.
Also at Diamond, head football coach Steve Wynarski elected not to return this year. So Freddie Lima, longtime assistant coach at Bishop Stang, has been hired to lead the Bengals football team this fall. Also in Greater Fall River news, former Hilltopper Jeff Caron has been the AD over at Dartmouth High School. He's left that post to take an assistant principal position over at New Bedford Voc. Andrew Crisafulli, who was the AD at Case, is heading over to Dartmouth now to take over the Indians program. All right, last but not least, this is some big news. You won't hear me saying the phrase Big Three play anymore in our broadcasts starting in September. And that's because the Big Three and the Old Colony League are no longer. They have merged. And this happens because Barnstable left the OC to become one of the Cape Cod teams, staying on the islands. So that means Brockton, Durfee, New Bedford, Dartmouth, and BR will be the Southeast Conference, comprised of 5 teams. Should be a lot of fun. We'll dive deeper into that on our first broadcast of the fall, and we'll see how it's going to affect Durfee as well. Thank you so much for tuning in on Fridays throughout the summer for the Fred TV Sports Report. I'll be seeing you soon. I want to wish all of my colleagues in the district a great school year. We had a successful opening this week, and we wish everybody the best as we head into September. I'll be seeing you soon on Fred TV. Until the next time, I'm Evan Massoud coming to you from Chew Park. Thanks for watching.